Afterward in the vivarium, Charlie keeps yelling in anger at Stanley because he isn't happy about all the experimenting and new scars. Suddenly he jumps and pretends to attack Stanley, hitting the ground with his spear before poking his own chest. He's asking Stanley to help him self-delete, but Stanley refuses to do it, and after some struggle he leaves the vivarium. Later in private, Stanley asks Diane for help. All the studies are slowly alienating Charlie and causing them to lose contact with him. Stanley wants Diane to go to the vivarium with him because perhaps the presence of a woman will help him calm down. When they enter the vivarium, Charlie's hands are wounded and he's using rock powder to draw the bird from his scars on the ground. Diane is very nervous and gets scared when Charlie immediately runs to her for a better look. After some sniffing, he shares his food with Diane, and she eats it not to offend him even though it's made of bugs. Then Charlie keeps on touching, being friendly at first but soon trying to look at her groin too. Stanley immediately stops him and the men yell at each other, so Stanley has to use the Neanderthal word for mind to make Charlie back off. Then Charlie brings some objects from his cave to exchange them for Diane, so Stanley has to turn him down. Looking at Diane puts Charlie in a sad mood and he repeats the same words over and over. When Mabel analyzes this, she thinks she's found Charlie's word for woman, but there's something else she can't quite understand. Stanley and Diane make Charlie explain the words and he does some drawings on the ground, revealing he used to have a wife and kids. He starts running around repeating those words and Diane realizes he's asking where his family is. The moment is interrupted when a helicopter appears above the facility. Since the ceiling is made of glass, Charlie sees it and freaks out. He starts climbing up the rocks while repeating beta, his word for bird. The scientists immediately tell the helicopter to leave, but Charlie won't calm down. He climbs to the top of the vivarium and keeps screaming beta at the ceiling. Sometime later, Stanley visits a tribe of Eskimos and shares the words he heard from Charlie, which the group recognizes. Stanley rushes back to the lab to share his discovery with Diane. Beta refers to Sedna, the legend of a large bird that acts as God's messenger and carries people to heaven or hell depending on their behavior. He theorizes that Charlie's tribe went extinct when the magnetic pole flipped and